Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Today, we are reaching the end, which means we're going to look at a surah in the Quran, actually two, Surah Al-Fil and Surah Quraysh. And we're going to look at it through the lens of now incorporating or integrating everything we've learned and adding beauty to our recitation. Bringing these rules together in such a way that now when we apply it, we can experience and feel the beauty of bringing these rules together and reciting smoothly with these rules applied. Remember, when we cover the rules individually, we cover them individually so that you can think of them as separate categories. Okay, this is what I do in this situation. This is what I do in this situation. But then when we approach the Mus'haf, and this might be your experience, is that you find that all these things come together. So there is a little bit of juggling, that mental juggling, where you're trying to read what you can see, but at the same time you're also like, okay, that one, and the noon followed by this, and followed by a hamza. So we're gonna work through this together to just read through and see the rules as they come, and then we can read it and try to express the whole ayah or sentence with a little bit of beauty and expression as well. Okay, let's begin. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. You go ahead, repeat after me. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Okay, and I'm extending at the end. Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Okay, and you can keep that flat, or you can add some of your own melody or tune to that as well. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Okay, and you can, of course, optionally read that short if you wanted to, but go for it. Add a little beauty, stretch it out a little bit. Okay. Now let's look over here. Very quick scan. Let's do a first scan. So this is something that I want you to do when you approach the Mus'haf. Read, scan, read, scan. Sometimes you're going to scan ahead. Sometimes you'll read and then scan as you're reading. There's no specific order to this, but the idea is that if you find that you start reading and then these if-then situations, these rules sort of pop up on you all of a sudden, right? Then using the driving analogy, maybe you're just looking at the car in front of you. Maybe you're looking at just the road in front of you. And when you're only looking at the car in front of you, what's going to happen? When that car hits the brakes, you had no anticipation, right? But if sometimes you look ahead and you have to train yourself to look, the side mirrors, the rear view mirror, and you have to train yourself to look where? Also way ahead. So if you see the traffic slowing down ahead, you can almost anticipate that this car directly in front of me is also going to slow down. So you have anticipated that before it happened, and you're ready with your foot on the brake. You're ready to slow down. You're not accelerating into a situation where everyone's slowing down. Same thing here. Sometimes if you feel that you start reading and now very quickly something happens, a rule comes up, there's a symbol, and it throws you off, then that might be a case where you want to pause the reading and just start scanning ahead and look forward to what comes. So let's do that quickly. Let's scan quickly for our rules. Let's see. So we have Alam Tara Kaifa Fa'ala Rabbuka bi Ashab Bil Fil. Okay? Nothing really stands out there in terms of the elongations or the rules of the different sounds of noon and so on. So let's try reading that together. ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل. Okay? Alam yaj'al. So what's going to happen here on this jim that has a rest sign? Remember, we had a few letters that when they have a rest sign on it, what do? So the letters were qaf, ta, ba, jim, and dal. Okay, what do we say about these letters? If I say ak or ad, what happens? So if I read alam yad, you're not going to hear the sound. So what are we going to do? We're going to give it a little bounce. Alam yaj'al, alam yaj'al kaydahum. Okay, so give it a little bounce, and we'll read the whole ayah together. أَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ كَيْدَهُمْ فِي تَضْلِيلٍ. Okay, we're extending this at the end. The one thing with this is that you want to keep it consistent. If I said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, then we're also going to say, Bi ashabil fil, fi tadlil. Okay, so we keep it consistent. And that adds to the overall beauty of the recitation, that there's this consistency as we're reading through the whole thing, not short sometimes, long sometimes, in the same situation. وَأَرْسَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلَ. Okay, what did we do over here? We have this word طَيْرًا, ends with the an in un type of sound, a noon with a rest sign. So what do? We look at what comes after. After here is a hamza, right? We had hamza, ha, ayn, ha, ghain, or kha. When our noon with a rest sign is followed by any of these letters that come from the throat, we are going to pronounce it clearly and distinctly. And we have seen before that when we have the symbol, the an in un symbol, in this case the an, and it's lined up, right, as opposed to offset, this one is going to be the clear and distinct version, right? Clear and distinct. And that's that symbol. They write it like this. It's lined up as opposed to offset. So, وَأَرْسَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلَ. Now also pace yourself. Try to take a full breath at the beginning so that you're not running out of breath halfway through. Remember, whenever you pause for the ayat, then settle yourself, take a breath, recalibrate, look ahead if you need to look ahead. You got this. You got this. Okay? None of this is fundamentally any different than what we've been doing so far. It's just now maybe coming all together. So instead of separate rules like dealt with separately, we're now combining them. So take a breath, add a little bit of your own melody, whichever way makes sense to you at the end. وَأَرْسَلَ عَلَيْهِمْ طَيْرًا أَبَابِيلَ. Now we look ahead. تَرْمِيهِمْ. We have a meme followed by a ba. This is bi, a ba first, followed by a ha. Bi, hi. Okay? Sometimes in the Mus'haf it'll be written like this, stacked. It might take a little extra second or two for you to decode. The clue here, when you're trying to decode this, is that the dot here is on this side, indicating that this first letter is the ba. Okay, bi, hi. If this dot was over here, then this dot would belong to this, which would be a jim. But it's not a jim, it's a bi, hi. Okay, so the meme into the ba, we're going to hold that sound a little bit. تَرْمِيهِمْ بِحِجَارَةٍ مِّن سِجِّيلٍ. Okay, we have now these rules of noon. The in here, and also we have it here as well. We'll get to this one. Right here, in followed by a meme. So what happens? This in sound, you lose the in. Why? Because the noon with the rest sign gets merged in fully to the meme. So it becomes bihijaratim. And we're going to stretch that sound. Stretch or hold that sound of the meme. And you can also play with that a little bit too. He said, talking about adding your own melody or your own tune at this stage. Just explore whatever sounds good to you. But begin to explore. Even here, as we're holding that sound, you can add your own melody to it. ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل. Okay? Add your own up and down. Just move, flow with the ayah. ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل. Okay? Now, we have here lin. Lin. Are we going to say lin? No, we'll just stop here with the rest sign. Just stop on the lam. This now would apply if we're continuing. من سجيل fa. So we would have now an in sound followed by a fa. So that would be our blurred or obscured noon, that sound that applies like think, pink, right? Fa. Okay? In most cases, most of us would be stopping here anyway, so you just stop. Min sijil. We have this one here actually. We forgot to mention this one. This is a noon with an implied rest sign. It's not there, followed by the scene. So it's the same thing. Think, pink, min sijil. Okay? Last ayah. فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ tim. The in sound is going to go and get merged directly into or fully into the meme. فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ. Okay? And again, in this sound, you can add your own fluctuation, your own melody, however you want to think of it. Add your own little touch of beauty. فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ. Now hold up a second. Why do we have a little meme over here? مأكولي with a little m, meme. What this is just like this ends sijilin. This is مأكولين. Okay, it's our twin sign in مأكولين. But where does this meme come from? This meme is now, and it'll be hard to get it on the screen at the same time, but hold that idea of the meme and let's look at the next surah. Okay? And it's not specific to this surah, but what's between the surahs? Between the surahs, we have Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So now, that previous word, ma'kulin, is the in sound followed by a ba. Remember our grandpa example or our cranberry? So when we have the n or in sound followed by here now the ba of Bismillah, that's where that little meme sign comes from. They're indicating that if you were to continue, how would you continue? By turning that lin into lim Bismillah, right? And we want to start from the lam, but to read it, it would be فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَأْكُولٍ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ. And I didn't manage my breath properly there, but that's the idea. If you were to continue from مأكولٍ into the ba of Bismillah, it'll get turned into a meme and you would hold a sound. Okay? Again, I'll put it back on the screen just so you see it again. Just for you to be aware. Don't be surprised by this meme. It'll show up sometimes at the end of a surah like this because the next surah begins with Bismillah. Okay? Let's do this surah quickly. لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ. Okay, now this, we have on the ending, we have this rai sound, ay or ow type of sound. Okay, here it comes, ow, ay. When we're stopping now, we have the choice. We can do it short, we could do it medium, we could do it long. The easiest thing sometimes is to just, whenever you're ending an ayah, just do it long. It makes it a little bit easier because it's one less thing for you to decide or to kind of rethink, should I do this or this? It's less options. You know, sometimes more options, it's nice to have options, and sometimes it is helpful to not have options. Okay? But if you wanted to read this short, you could say لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ, or medium لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ, or if we extended it nice and long, لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ. And again, you could play with it. لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ. Okay? قُرَيْشٍ. Our symbol that's in line is telling us to read this in sound clearly. When does this apply? If this, then that. If we have this sound followed by the hamza, but the hamza is here. Meaning, if we're continuing, لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ إِيلَافِهِمْ. So if we're continuing, then we have that situation. If we're stopping, add a rest sign here. لِإِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ إِيلَافِهِمْ رِحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ. So we have our medium length elongation here. Followed by a hamza with our little squiggly here. This is our super stretch followed by a hamza. I'll read it again. إِيلَافِهِمْ رِحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ. Okay, add a little up and down, go up and down, enjoy the reading. And let's continue. فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ الَّذِي. Okay, here again, followed by a hamza, our medium length. Stretch that out a little bit. الَّذِي أَطْعَمَهُم, on the ta. Remember, qaf, ta, ba, jim, and dal. We're going to give it a little bounce. If I say out, the sound is either going to get stuck out, or it'll force its way out in a not a most desirable manner. Just alto, alto. Okay, bounce off. Let your tongue just kind of just alto and kind of bounce off the sound a little bit. الذي أطعمهم من. Meme with a shadda. We're going to meme with a strong sign. We are going to drag that out and hold the sound and enjoy the sound. الذي أطعمهم من. This again, this noon that has the think, pink, that sound. And let's scan ahead now, because now they're coming quickly, right? They're coming quickly. Let's scan ahead. Ain is going to get merged into here. Hum. We're going to hold that sound. We have the strong sign on the meme. We're going to hold that. Min khawf. Now we have this noon followed by a kha. We're going to make this clear and distinct. Let's read the whole thing now. It's a lot coming maybe all at once. Read it once, read it twice. Maybe circle these little things if you're forgetting them, so it helps you remember. And when you read it, it's like now you can just see those signs, because those are the signs that are at the like right in your vision. Okay, it's like a heads-up display. You have it right in front of you. الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. Again, this little meme. Why is that little meme there? Because if we're to continue, min khawfim bismillah. Okay? Again, this is a pretty long phrase for a lot of us. Manage your breath, and you're probably not going to be continuing there. But there you have it. That is just a little snapshot. Surah Al-Fil and Surah Quraysh together. You see that the different rules are all coming together in the same place, and they're coming at you as you're driving all at the same time. This is something that, take it one step at a time. Look at the lines you want to read, look at the ayah you want to read, scan ahead and see if you notice any of these things. Once you get habituated to seeing these, it's like someone learned to drive on the city streets at a certain speed. Now when they go on the highway or the freeway, it's not fundamentally anything different, but they have to get adjusted to now driving at a faster speed and having all of these inputs all at the same time, right? If the cars were driving slowly beside them, now they're all driving fast. If that sign, you had a lot of time to read the sign because you're going slow, now you're going faster. The signs are passing you by more quickly. So it's the exact same thing. Slow it down. Start on the city streets. Scan ahead. Read the signs. Find the signs. Be comfortable. And then start to pick it up. Embrace reading the whole ayah. The signs are going to come to you more quickly. But through you doing that, it will get better and you'll become pretty good at being able to embrace these signs all at once and to navigate them as they come up while you are reading. You got this. Say Bismillah. And it's something you have to do. Put some time towards practice and it'll get better and better. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.